Okay, by now your eco breed is probably getting hungry, so let's get the food set up. I made these little dishes here for food and for water, and I even went as far as making it so that we can do a resize animation on the food prim itself. As you can see, it's a half of a sphere, and when I made an extension for it so that that it works with the system, as well as when the food levels drop. So when the food levels drop, it'll reduce its size to the point where it disappears. Okay, and I'll show you that extension, as well as I'll be providing that on the in the extension, the plugin repository on the EcoWiki, which you'll find right here. The extension basically does this, is that it makes a custom method. The @ symbol represents plugins or extensions, custom methods that are triggered in the action objects themselves, and then ones with hashtags, this symbol here, represent the methods that work on the breed object. Okay, this will pass on through an expression how much is left in the food dish. We're going to start it off at let's say 100 food units, and when it's over 100 food units, it'll start off the size at 0.2, and then when it's roughly a little more than halfway, it will go to the 0.1, and then 0.05 for a little bit left. Otherwise, if it's less than all of that, it'll be empty. It'll resize it down to its smallest position, which is when it doesn't show in the dish anymore. Okay, so this extension handles itself. This handles just, at the moment, just this method. You can always add additional methods to your extensions, which I'll go into in other tutorials, just by doing something like this, and creating an example. And when that method is called in the action class list, you'll be able to pass on the attributes to it, which is anything that would show up in here. Okay, so like I said, we'll get into extensions later, but for this example I wanted something a little dynamic to add to the demonstration, so I just created this little extension, and we'll throw it up on the repository. Now, how to set this up? You're going to need the scripts from the action object itself. So open this up and transfer the scripts into your contents here, and just send this over into the food dish. Now we won't need this anymore, and I used this script here to help me get the parameters. Just to go back into it and to explain it a little bit more, it's set link primitive params, the second prim, because there's two prims. The main prim would be 1, the second prim would be 2. Just a little tip: if it's just a single prim object, you would be using 0. My core code for other animation sequences, like for the breed, it automatically determines which prim number the main root prim is. But just for this example, this is classic LSL scripting language. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Open up the settings script, and let's add the food value up to 100. Okay, and with that at 100, we will also maybe make this a 10% per unit food value. That's how much the food will be worth. Now, just since this is just a food object, it doesn't need to say or do anything. What we'll do is we'll write our custom code in food level, right? And we'll add the action extension, action expression food level. So that will dynamically change and add the food level to send that food level to our food level method. Now this is only going to trigger on start, but we also have other events such as when the pet eats food. So we can go over here into the events and callbacks. Into the native methods, you'll see that there is an event called food. This event's triggered when food is consumed. So going back to here, we're going to open up that event, food, and we'll do exactly as we did for the start and set the food level. So anytime food is consumed, it will trigger this method, which will adjust the food level. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, Dowdy's going to be hungry enough to eat the whole entire bowl as is, but I can open this up and show you that when the object begins to eat at the food, when the breed eats some food, you can actually watch it reduce in size until it's completely empty, down to nothing. Okay, so we'll go ahead and remove this. And now we have this, as soon as we save it, it will check the food level that's stored in the main action script, and which will start at 100, and it'll fill the dish up. So let's go ahead and do that. And there you have it. So when the food begins to become consumed, every time it's consumed, triggers this event. If you make it more diverse, that extension script, you can watch it resize a lot more dynamically. This is only going to do it into 4 different increments. And you can even make a neat little formula to determine, based on 100% of its maximum Y value. So you can, which is actually, it should be 0.2. So 0.2. So if you want to make it, you would just times it by the amount, and to be able to determine how much to resize it down to, based on the attribute that's sent to it. Okay. So that was a quick little example, and one other thing, as we did go through in another tutorial, was that you can change the hover text so that it can show the food level by using the simple expression, as it tells you here. Use the value and then any kind of syntax that you want. Food units remaining. Okay, so it'll change that hover text over to the amount of food units, and you can put text in front, like so, and to be able to to make whatever kind of statement you want with an optional header, footer, and the other values as well. And now this is a basic food dish with an added extension to give it a little bit more charm, I suppose. We'll go over some more into the extensions in another tutorial, and for now this should be sufficient to get you started and to get your pet fed. You would go through the same exact scenario with the water dish. Maybe just give it less of a food unit value, because it does it's food. If its food is food, maybe just make it 1% for the water itself. Alright, I'll see you on the next tutorial.